playing.
All right.
All right.
Carry, yeah. Flag no carry. So this is a render of Johnny Silverhand playing Archangel in Cyberpunk, and I've tried to figure out how is it actually played according to what's shown in the game. So if we start to dissect it part by part, we'll end up with something like this. We have a 6-string guitar. I'm using a 7-string now, but the 7th string I'm not going to play at all. So it works with 6-string. And looking at the renders, we can say that it looks something like this. We have those, if you saw my previous video, you could see that we have a couple of perfect fifths played in between. This is the 4th string 7th fret and 5th string 9th fret. So you go there. There's a lot of alternating between those two. Later you go, but the first you begin with. So you can clearly see, if you watched at the render, that there is a part where Johnny lifts the index finger. So apparently he's playing. But if you listen to the sound, it sounds like there is a lower note there that matches the open 6th string. So apparently he plays 5ths and then goes to the 4th. I don't know why this 4th still sounds like garbage, but anyway. So something like that. Let's see, why do I think it's played like that, and how is it actually played. So let me switch back to the video. Where was it? Come on. Well, let's start from the beginning. We can clearly see that the hand is somewhere in the middle of a fretboard, right? And then we can see that there is a 5th played. There are the 5ths. And it goes dum 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 dum, right? It's higher, then it goes down, then the index finger is being lifted. Let's see that. Slowly, like we go. Okay, that doesn't work. So you can see this is played without moving the hand, but with just moving one index finger. So and that's what I'm trying to replicate. So just lifting the index finger to. If you're lifting the index finger, you end up with this, and there's no way it's going to be played any differently. I've tried down tuning the 6th string 2 steps, so that this would also, instead of a 4th, it would be a 5th. But then the slowest note doesn't match what we hear, and we cannot tune this up to frets, because then those 5ths wouldn't be 5ths. They wouldn't sound well. That would be septima, 7th, right? And that would sound just awkward. Then you would have to play 5ths like that, like you normally play 4ths, if this would be, you know, up-tuned 2 steps, right? Anyway, I believe it's probably just a standard tuning, down-tuned full step. So what's happening next? This all makes sense, but this doesn't. So let's dissect it part by part. Then we have only one finger apparently somewhere in here, and then 2 fingers. What we actually hear is you can clearly hear this. This is a low notes that match. You hear. So, if you would play this with 1 finger, you could go alternating, so it would be like a major second. But second is not a nicely sounding interval. It makes much more sense to play major third. So this is a third, this is a third, alternating between 3rd fret of the 6th string and 2nd fret of 5th string, and then between 2nd fret of 6th string and open 5ths. Then it makes sense, but instead they kind of show it backwards. You would play it like this, and then so you use 2 fingers and then 1 finger, right? But instead they show 1 finger and then 2 fingers. Maybe they just got it the other way around. I don't know, but what happens after that? Let's see. So you saw that? This part again makes sense. When you go higher, but then that's what I hear. I guess that's what you guys also hear. But they show this 5th higher, and then they show something like 1 finger here, 2 fingers, and that's it. It should be. Let's take a look one more time what they're showing. So this is kind of wrong. 1 finger, 2 fingers should be the other way around. So the 5th on the. This is basically 5th string 10th fret, and then 4th string 12th fret. So there's 1 finger, but then this one kind of goes down to the 6th string, but in fact it should be on the same string. For you to go. This is a half step change up, not down. So if you would go immediately to the 6th string, you would end up on the last note. But they don't actually show that last note. You mean it kind of, it's already there. So looks like instead of showing what is actually happening, like it's a 9th fret of 5th string, sorry. It goes to 10th fret of 5th string, and then it goes to 10th fret of 6th string. But instead they show, and what you still play, they already show the final position, and then it has just get removed. So the animation is pretty close, but not fully matching. And it just repeats. But then there is another part that's played after, the carry says keep playing. If you go alright, come on. Say alright. This is a familiar part that I've already showed how to play on the 6th string as well. But then goes. So, and it looks like, according to the animation, that they play it like this. I go, instead of using the open strings and going 2nd fret on the 5th, so open 6. This is the base for all of it. Base for all of it is open 6. But you go from this open 6 to various places. You go. So this is how I would play it. I would go open 6, 2nd fret of 5th, open 6 string, 3rd fret of 6, open 6, open 4th. But instead they seem to play it. So open 6, 7th fret of 6, open 6, 3rd fret of 6, this mod matches, open 6, 5th fret of 4th, which is the same as open, I don't, 5th fret of 5th string, which is the same as open 4th string. But why do I think they play it like that? That's according to the animation. Let's take a look at the animation. So, what's happening? So you saw the finger here, finger somewhere there, and finger somewhere in between, but this one was animated very well. And then it goes. This can clearly be heard. Now instead of previously how we played this, there was just 3 notes, but now it's 4. And they are played somewhere here on this part of fret, not there where it previously was, because they go somewhere in the same position. So I'm assuming it's going to be played like this, but the animation actually shows this. That's what the animation shows, because you don't see this part played with the pinky. Let's take a look at this again. So here it goes. So only those index and middle finger were used. Pinky kind of weren't there. Again. But you can clearly hear 4 notes. So with 2 fingers, you couldn't play this because you need this or this, and you have to move. And this is an awkward jump to do. This is much easier to do. It's all more or less the pentatonic scale. Right. So anyway, apparently that's how they play it. So what we end up with if we play it all together, we get something like this. Sorry, I've been playing it terribly because I suck at guitar. But actually, let me try it from scratch. Something like that. And that's the first part, at least, of the Archangel in there, because I know there further should be something like, I mean, this part playing in a loop. But so far, so good. So it looks like the animation isn't exactly correct, but it's pretty close. I would say closer than any other game that I know. I mean, the other parts of the game where you just see third-person guitar players, they usually don't much. But these parts, and also the part where Johnny plays, what was the name of that song? Something about the like. Where you can see it from the first person, from Johnny's perspective. It's all animated properly. He's even doing some solo, you know, with the bands. You can see that he's doing the bands. It's, again, not super duper correct, and all the guitars are fretless for some reason on Cyberpunk. Like, you decided not to render frets because you couldn't get, you know, the hands position in the right places, maybe. But other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, it's better than whatever else I have seen in the video games. If you know any better video games that are, not like Guitar Hero and stuff, but video games that have, well, they are not centered around music, and Cyberpunk kind of has music as an important part of the plot, but not really. If you think about it, they did not necessarily have to have a band or any successful songs for the plot to actually work. But still, this is pretty good. And I hope it was interesting for you to learn how to play this. So maybe one more time about the last part. It's so what's happening there I explained. This was open 6, 7th fret, open 6, 3rd fret on 6, open 6, 5th fret on 5th, and then you go to the 4th string, you go 5, 4, and then on the 5th string you go 7, 5. This is exactly the same as if you play this 5, 4 to open on the 4th string, but then you would end up in a little bit awkward position to go back to here. You need to make a jump and, to play this 5th then for this part. So instead you play 5, 4, 7, 5. Sorry, 5, 4, 7, 5, but make this 5 with the index finger. Then it's already in place for you to play this 5th. Because you have to think about what's going to come next. If you just play it whatever way you like, but then you need to shift to a different position of the hand on the fretboard very quickly, it's not going to work. So you have to economize on your movements. Like with the pick, there is an economy pick and economy there being you're trying to save movement of your right hand, and then the same applies to the left hand. So yeah, that's basically it. Hope you liked it, and have a nice cyberpunky day.